Executive Director for Tŝilhqot'in National Government. We welcome you guys here today. I have 4 of our 6 Tŝilhqot'in chiefs. We're going to be speaking about our historical Indigenous rights and land case, and we'll be followed up by 2 of our Tŝilhqot'in youth speaking about our current opioid crisis. First, we'll go to Nitsilene Roger William, Chief of ilhqot'in.
This year is 10 years since the Supreme Court of Canada declared that we, as Tŝilhqot'ins, own control and can benefit from the land. This land is not crown land, it's Tŝilhqot'in land. We call it title. It took 25 years to be recognized by Canada. It was a long battle. Our elders testified in foreign court systems, and in some cases, leaving the territory for their first time. The oppression of Indigenous people in Canada started with our lands being stolen from us. Reclaiming our lands is the first step to empowering our people and bringing back the strength of our ancestors' health. We are confident today with our strong youth behind us and partnership we have formed that there can be future where we enjoy the same health, well-being as the rest of Canada. We are far from it, but with the foundation of title, I believe we are on our way.
Next, we'll go to Nitsilene Otis Gishon, Chief of Tadaldel and Vice Chair of Tŝilhqot'in, Vice Chair of Tŝilhqot'in National Government.
Afternoon. After Canada recognized our lands, we started working in a meaningful way with Canada and British Columbia to improve the lives of our people. We have made great strides rebuilding our nation under our ilhqot'in pathway agreement over the past 5 years. We are bringing long overdue change for our people. We are building new homes, standing up our laws, and did I put on my mic?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, it's on. So we standing up our laws and traditional ways of governing, reclaiming our jurisdiction for our children and families. This work is urgent. We feel the impact of trauma every day. My community lost 3 young people in recent weeks to drug overdoses. This is a direct result of colonization. We call on Canada and British Columbia to continue their commitment to change our ilhqot'in pathway agreement. We can address the challenges facing our communities and the world by empowering Indigenous peoples and respecting our rights of self-governance and self-determination. Chanelya.
Chanelya, thank you, Chief. Next, we'll go to Nitsilene Francis Lassise, Chief of Tŝilhqot'in.
We are here at the United Nations to demand respect for the human rights of all Indigenous peoples. We need action now. Every day, Indigenous peoples around the world suffer from the legacy of colonization and genocide. That genocide continues today. Government and industry are exploiting the loss of our traditional lands and sacred waters. Our food sources are disappearing. Our wild salmon, our moose, our medicines. We are impacted by a climate crisis, a food security crisis, and a drug crisis. We are here to stand with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. We call for an end to the violations of our basic human rights. UNDRIP means nothing unless it is put into action. Colonization will not end until we fully respect and implement the human rights of Indigenous peoples. We will not stop fighting until Indigenous nations around the world are fully respected as equals with full rights of self-government and self-determination. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Francis. Next, we will go to Nitsaling Joe Alphonse from Tlenenco, also Tribal Chair of Tŝilhqot'in National Government.
To incorporate our Indigenous into and recognize our title case. The Tŝilhqot'in case is the only one of its kind in Canada, anywhere in the world. You know, we're ground zero for Indigenous relations around the world. Do it right with us and there's hope for everybody else. You know, we excluding Indigenous voices in the process of governance, especially around resource extraction, is a direct result of why we have global warming today. You wanna tackle global warming? Bring back Indigenous voices into the process. Indigenous voices have been absent from that process for as long as there's been. So it's time to go. And it's the right thing to do for the environment. It's the right thing to do in terms of dealing with our climate crisis. Global warming is a serious issue. It's affecting every one of us around, no matter what country we come from. And this is what we're striving for. We know how to manage our lands. There's not one thing that's managed properly today by the Canadian government. We can do better than that. Our government structures and history, it's in our ancestors' know-how, and through our ancestors, we can manage this land. We know that that's our inherent right. We come with challenges. The drug crisis we have going on in our communities, we are under a state of emergency, as we put it. You know, when they first came into first contact, first happened, they brought disease into our nation to try to wipe us out. 90% of the Tŝilhqot'in population was wiped out by smallpox. The crisis we're facing today, we view it in the same light. It's devastating. It's affecting every one of our members and just about every nation out there. We need to act and act soon. We need culture, we need sporting events, we need our own solutions at the table. You know, our youth are our future. This is why we do what we do. If our youth weren't here, then we wouldn't be doing this work. We don't want them to go through the same things we've gone through. You know, we grew up, we were taught to be ashamed of our Indigenous heritage and to stand in the shadows. Our youth today, they're educated, they're rich in their culture, they're proud, and they seek the spotlight. So deal with us. You think we're tough, you wait till they come of age. Chanatya.
So Chanaya, thank you, Chiefs. Maybe I'll ask you to come down and we'll ask our youth to come up, our youth ambassadors. Oh, careful. So thank you, youth, for joining us. We're so happy to have you with us at the UN. First, I will introduce Hani Lulawa from Tŝilhqot'in.
I am honored to be here at the United Nations as a Tŝilhqot'in International Youth Ambassador. It has been a powerful experience to meet youth from around the world and hear the challenges they face in their own territories back home. We share so many experiences, we share so much pride and strength in our culture. But we also share the trauma of our families and our communities, the international trauma of colonization that continues to this day. Our nation declared a state of emergency last week after the deaths of several youth. We lost one more this week while we have attended the forum. These are our brothers, our sisters, our cousins. Our youth are taking drugs to try and stop the pain, the trauma they have experienced. Our people are being poisoned, just like our waters and our lands. We come here with heavy hearts, but also with the message for Canada and the world. We know the path to healing, it is decolonization. It comes from strength of our culture, our laws, our communities. We call on Canada and the world to fully implement the human rights of Indigenous peoples and respect our lands, cultures, and right to self-determination. We are ready to take on the work of building a better future for our people. Sachanaliya.
Thank you, honey. Next, we'll go to Dakota Diablo from Tlesco. It's on.
So we, as Tŝilhqot'in youth, we are honored to be here to be able to share our voice in the United Nations. The theme of the permanent forum this year is Empowering Youth, and I have experienced the power of bringing youth together from around the world. I will bring this energy and motivation back to my own nation when I return home. But I truly believe that the youth have also empowered the United Nations this year. I listened to every speech by states and Indigenous people in the General Assembly so far this week, and I've learned and absorbed so much. I say with respect, that is the voices of the youth that are ringing truth and power in the United Nations this year. And in some respects, we are speaking with one voice. Indigenous youth have provided a wake-up call for the United Nations. I heard so many youth speak about the youth, the loss of their lands, the poisoning of their waters, the fear of losing our way of life. The ways of life we are meant to inherit and carry as a sacred obligation from our ancestors to the ones that follow. It is this loss and trauma that has taken the lives of our youth. I practice ceremony in my culture. I know the power and strength of this gift. If the world cares about saving our youth, we must work together to save our lands, our culture, and our language, our way of life as Indigenous people. On behalf of the Tŝilhqot'in Youth Delegation, we thank the United Nations for lifting the voices of Indigenous youth at this forum. And we call on the United Nations and all member states to commit to ensuring the voices of Indigenous youth are heard loud and clear in each and every international forum. Ms. Chanelhia, we thank you.
So Chanelhia, thank you. I want to mention that these are 2 of 6 youth that the Tŝilhqot'in have brought to the United Nations. But I want to open it up now to see if there are any questions. So I don't see any. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So
I
what I hope to get out of this when we come back home from a youth's perspective is to be able to share that voice and what happened here today and this week and all of the good work and all of the good things that's going around the world and all of the things that we need to work on as Indigenous people to help each other and uplift each other.
I think we strive to bring awareness for Tŝilhqot'in people. We've always operated as Tŝilhqot'in Nation. There's six communities within our nation. A community is not a nation. We've always worked tightly together. We may not always agree with each other, but we always agree to work together. We feel our strength lies from our nation. So when we speak, we're speaking here on behalf of Tŝilhqot'in. But in doing so, it's to benefit all Indigenous peoples around the world. We want to be on an equal footing. You know, we are, as one of our former tribal chair used to say, over glorified concentration camp. You guys call Indian reserves is where we come from. We want to go beyond that. We want opportunity like everybody else. And we'll push that envelope. And to come to an international forum is about us, but it's also about inspiring other Indigenous nations around the world. We've been as if we've been put in the back room. We want to give hope to everyone. Sometimes all you have is hope. Hope for a better future, better opportunities, equal footing. So as Indigenous peoples, we have often lived, you know, under the poverty line. And everything that comes when your poverty level is so high. We face all those issues and all those problems. So we want to go beyond that. The world afraid to allow Indigenous people to thrive. You know, we as humans are not going to reach our full potential until we incorporate all views. It's time. Mother Earth, in my opinion, is screaming for Indigenous voices. Global warming all throughout the world is real. It's here. We got a solution for you guys.
Perfect. Thank you, Chief Joe. Thank you, Dakota. Wondering if there are any more questions in the room or online? Not hearing any. I'm wondering if we do a quick drum song to end out our session. Youth, do you want to quickly? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Turn your mic on.
Nanilala itil, chikaini san tunasitil, dan kaini dutani chilin, kochikaini san kubananjat anasitin, yail tiktaitin, iruka chikaini san, tani nitlin kaini jatani wutlida katin, ira kudalilti, gunaguts anilti, who lost on kachikaini san, wachanasya.
Thank you for your closing remarks. Do you want to interpret? No? Leaving it as is. I love it in Tŝilhqot'in. Youth, do you want to quickly assemble and do a drum song to end, please? You might need to turn your mics on. Mics on. There you go.
Oh, hey! Oh, hey! Ah, 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 hey! Oh,
On behalf of the Tŝilhqot'in Nation, I would like to thank everybody in the room and online for joining us today and getting our message out. Tshilhqot'in.
Can you stay? You have a few minutes? Yeah, you organize it. It's great, Marshall.
Maybe we could get the chiefs sitting how they were and then get the youth behind them.
Yeah, Chiefs, can you take the front seats?
Oh, sorry, just the youth.
Yeah.
I just know who's holding him.
The youngest ambassador.
Yeah, I got just ambassador, youth ambassador.
He always likes the mic.
He does.
Can we get the chiefs to sit in the chairs in front of the youth and the youth to stand behind them?
Keep going. Coming. Jen, can you go beside Jolie?
Everybody here for one? Showing up. Who wants to do a speech?
Just hold that so long.
You sound like my trainer. Does anybody want an individual photo with this time?
Keela, do you want to do a photo with you?
That's some time,
Yep.
one at a
We've
time.
got 8 minutes for any photos that you guys want.
Yeah,
Perfect.
do that.
Jenny over here.
Perfect date.